Welcome to East Africa.
I'm here in East Africa with Contiki's travel project. My name is nadinesykora and I'm a travel vlogger from Canada. I'm here to better understand the threat to local wildlife. I've spoken to local guides, conservationists, and experts to investigate why certain animal species are in decline, why the Great Migration is changing, and what we can do to help. One of the greatest wildlife spectacles in the world happens right here in Kenya and Tanzania. It's known as the Great Migration. Each year, vast numbers of wildebeest, zebra, and antelope make a long circular journey through the Serengeti and the Masai Mara, driven by their instincts to find food, water, and a safe place to give birth. But studies have shown that the number of animals making this journey have been dropping year after year. Some have even reported a considerable reduction of migrating animals since the 1970s.
Yeah, so actually the Great Migration is one of the most spectacular attractions that we have in East Africa. They cover about 3,000 to up to 5,000 kilometers.
First of all, there is HumanWildlife Conflict. There is that new road built from Narok to Masai Mara. There we're still having more people coming towards the animals corridors, and it's happening in most parts of Kenya. So that's going to be another big problem where animals are not going to be free to move in and out where it used to be.
But these issues aren't unique to the Great Migration. Several other animals are being affected as well.
Migratory routes of wild animals no longer exist, have been occupied by farmers. And that is why if these animals want to migrate from one area to another, they will find it very difficult. And the owners of these crops and structures will want to fight the animals away. In that process of the fight, sometimes the mothers will end up being killed and the baby is left alone. And that is why human-wildlife conflict is one of the major reasons that has caused most of them to be left orphans and therefore brought here in the nursery.
This is the African Fund for Endangered Wildlife, commonly called the Giraffe Center. One of the reasons as to why the Rothschild became endangered is because of human settlement and agriculture, in the sense that people from the western part of Kenya, where these giraffes were formerly found, they are very huge farmers. And so they used to kill these giraffes so that they can get space to farm or to build their houses. And so they became endangered.
So human settlement is one aspect that's impacted wildlife, but there are other factors that have also been affecting the movement of these animals.
We've had this what we call climate change that really has affected a lot of, I would say, the weather in general, but also the movement of these animals.
The rainy season has been altered. We normally expect short rains in March, followed by long rains in April, ends in May. And this time round, we expect this grass to grow very tall. And the same kind of rains is the same we have in Tanzania. Because what always attracts them here is because of approaching rains and maybe higher vegetation.
And now they don't move like all together like they used to. They are now like scattered around. Like we have find like one big head this side, the other one over here, then the other one way ahead of the others. They're spreading out because they are looking for, like food, water, and stuff like that. So this way it gives them more benefits rather than just sticking on one small area.
I would probably think maybe this year there might be some changes in terms of the timing we expect this migration to happen in Kenyan side.
While climate change is one variable that we can't really predict exactly how it will affect East Africa's wildlife, there are many ways in which organizations and even tourists can have a positive impact on these animals.
We offer conservation education to the general public, but our main focus is the school children. They need to learn why we have the giraffes here, and they need to understand that this is their animals, and why should we conserve them. Conservation education is what we would like the tourists to go away with. When they come and see what we do, we expect that they also pass this information to where they go to.
We maybe try to encourage more tourists to come and visit our parks I would say that if we have more tourists, the park rangers, they'll be able to get more money, and then they can be able to protect our animals. It's a good thing the tourism business is doing very well, but we still need the government to still look for more professionals to be able to protect these animals.
From the center, we've been able to release about 43 giraffes of this kind. And so we are very happy for that milestone because we've helped the country to increase the numbers of these endangered Rothschilds.
Wildlife in East Africa has always been one of the world's greatest sights, and while climates are changing and migratory routes are being cut off, animals are finding ways to adapt. With our continued efforts to support them, more funding, and more awareness, we can help to improve the situation. But one question remains: what will happen to the Great Migration?
Just to let you know that the migration will never ever stop. The migration is not just all about the weather, it's not just all about the food and water, but also its instinct in the mind. It's something that they are used to doing it, so that will never ever make the migration stop.